All right. I think we'll go ahead and get started now. Welcome, everybody, to the May 15th community meeting. We are moving along with our 2.0 version of the city. We have a major update that is going to be hitting. It looks like tomorrow. It's going to be pushed sometime tomorrow. It's very, very large. A lot of stuff has changed, quite a bit of new stuff, and quite a few bug fixes. Just kind of on the development side, I'll kind of touch on kind of where we're at. After this update, the next week or so is going to be focused more on finalizing SOP stuff that people have submitted, and then also bug fixes. So, the next couple of updates that come out, there may not be a lot of brand new stuff that's added to the server, but there's definitely going to be a focus on bug fixes and getting the rest of the SOPs reviewed and implemented. With that being said, just a couple of things that I want to touch on, and then I'm going to turn it over to Devil and Chief, and then we'll start answering questions. The ticketing system here in its current form, I know I posted in general chat about this, I think it was yesterday, is here for a reason. I know we've kind of talked about this before, but that is the place to go when you are having issues. So bug reports, you can either submit them as of right now here in Discord, or you can go over to the GitHub issues request, or the GitHub issues tracker repository that we have there. That's the best place to do it because it cuts out a step for our support staff having to actually manually input that ticket themselves. There's some other stuff that is coming on that we're not ready to share yet about how that whole process is going to work moving forward. But it's pretty cool. Daddy Dubs has been working on it, and I'm excited to share that with you guys all down the road. This is also where we are putting some stuff that is publicly disclosed that we are working on or getting ready to release. So some stuff that we do, we keep on the private GitHub repo. Some stuff goes here in the public roadmap. So this is a great place to kind of stay up to date. Like, hey, this is what's going on. These are the issues that we're seeing in the server. This is what we're worked on. This is what we kind of have planned and where we're at. So just kind of keep that in mind. That I'll drop that link here in the meeting chat. But that's a great place for you guys to go to if you have questions or you're having a bug. We want people to kind of get familiar with this, and then we also have something else coming that may be a little bit easier down the road. Moving on from that, as we see some increase in gangs coming into the city and different organizations and in the potential of gang wars and things like that starting to really develop in the city, just kind of want to remind everybody of a couple of rules on that, as this is the kind of the first time where we have a focus on that. So criminal roleplay is restricted to 6 players. For gang wars, the attacking group can only have 6 players attack. The defending group, whoever is on scene of the attack, can actually defend. So there's going to be a little bit more guidance on that, but that's the kind of the 2 big ones that I just wanted to touch on. Just kind of keep that in mind. It is in the rules. And you guys can kind of just kind of double check that and make sure that you're following that. We should be good. We haven't had any issues with it. Just kind of wanted to remind everybody. Also, just remember it's best to use the ticketing system for player reports and things like that. If you message staff, we all have DMs that we get 20, 30 a day. Some of us more, some of us less. We get a bunch, and we have all kinds of stuff going on. In addition to channels in the Discord that you guys aren't here, the development stuff and all that stuff gets lost when you DM us directly. Just remember, like, the best place to get an answer is either in one of the help sections that we have in here, if it's just like a quick question, or file a ticket, file a help me ticket, and we'll get there. File a player report ticket if you have an issue, so we can kind of take a look. And then just be on the lookout. There's going to be a few changes to Discord and just how we structure a couple of things. Not very much. Unless you're in like an approved organization, you're going to see the changes in some of our whitelisted jobs. Are going to see changes just how we list some stuff, because we're going to break some stuff up and have some sections for like, you know, the Angels and some of the other groups that are coming into the city to have, you know, kind of a way to communicate, and then a way for all gangs to kind of communicate in a neutral zone channel back and forth with each other. So there's a couple of those things that are going to be coming. You guys can be on the lookout for that. That'll happen. Some restructuring with the whitelisted job channels as well is on the horizon, probably next week. And then I'm going to turn it over to Devil or Chief and see if they have anything. Then we'll start answering questions.
Oh, Devil, go first. Chief? No, you go first.
Something I want to talk about is the mayor race. As you guys know, in the announcements, it was announced that we are going to have a city mayor. We're going to have some debates. I need to get with anybody who is running for mayor. That way we can find a common time to have a small debate and have it in the server, and, you know, everybody can attend. This is something that is exciting. I did post in general chat about the role of a mayor. You know, like if new businesses open, they'll be attending that, doing some press conferences. If like PD has a major bust, they'll be going around with stuff like that. They will get certain perks and stuff like that, such as a limo and everything else like that. So I did post that in general chat, kind of like what their role is as the mayor. So we have to figure out who's running. As far as I know right now, it's Jingles, it's Lou, and Shaggy. If there's anybody else, let me know so we can get you guys scheduled time for a debate. Think it'll be pretty cool. Other than that, I think we've been hitting really, really good with some of these storylines that are going on. You know, we always say that the city's kind of in between silly and serious, and you know, things are going good. Chief?
Sorry, Chief. I just want to add to that. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. From what I've been watching in streams, some of those storylines, like we are really, everybody's kind of picking up on what we're trying to do in the city, and know, you know, that in between that Devil talked about that silly and serious, you guys are killing it with when to be silly, when to kind of, you know, make it a little bit more serious. And the stories are starting to reflect that, and I love it. Chief, go ahead.
Yeah, I was basically, that's what my whole talk was about how the storylines have been going. Some of you've had amazing storylines. I love it. And I think you guys are doing a whole lot better. Kind of the win-win mentality is starting to leave, I think. So, you know, guys, just think about the other people you're with, you're role-playing with. It doesn't have to be always win-win, but I think you guys are doing really good with it here the past couple of weeks. It's been awesome. And I'd like to thank all of you.
That's saying something if all three of us have the same thing to say. You know what I mean? That's how much of an impact, you know, us as a community are having. You know what I mean?
That's all I have to say, Denrick. I do want to have a police meeting after this is over.
Okay. Kraken, do you have anything that you wanted to add from the staff perspective? And then I will touch on one more thing before I open questions, or answer questions, I should say.
No, I'm good.
All right. So with that being said, since I mentioned staff and Kraken here, I know there's been we have a few other applications that we haven't gotten back to people on that have submitted like support staff applications. Just know we kind of we tend to bring in, a couple people at a time and then train them a little bit and then, look at expanding when we need to. That being said, we do have the application and we are taking applications for support staff and development. Anybody that has development experience, anything like that. We are going to be looking at those applications in the next probably week or so and start looking at that next wave of a couple of people that we want to bring on. We do have some spots that we want to fill, and some ideas to kind of go along with those. So if you are sitting out here and 5M coding and you want to help us out, we'd appreciate it. We'll definitely have a talk with you. And then if you want to just kind of help out the server in general, with support and maybe applications or the tech side, things like that, we also appreciate that. You guys, even those that are not currently on support staff, we see people answering questions from the community and stuff like that. We greatly appreciate that assistance that everybody gives. And with that, I will go into questions. So we're going to do this a little bit different. I posted in the meeting chat that we have the written questions. We're also going to try, since this is the new Discord meeting stage thingy majig, if you want to ask a question limited to one, if you do that, just request to speak and we'll go through those after we get through the channel here. So we're going to actually shut down the channel in a few minutes after, because I know there's some people posting. So I'm going to just start running through those and then we'll see if anybody else has a question. Can we consider red lights as stop signs instead of waiting 45 minutes for the light to turn green? I don't have anything official to say on that yet, but we are looking at game mechanics that would kind of do that. As of right now, we have no change on that. So, no change as of now, but stay tuned. What cars are going to be nerfed? There were a few cars that are coming out in this update that Death Adder has worked on some handling. I don't remember off the top of my head which vehicles those are. I know a couple of the sports cars got tuned down a little bit because their top speed was way too fast. So we've adjusted a few of those. Other than that, I can't really give any specifics. Can we have clarification on what the legal amount of marijuana to have on you is? I forgot to talk to Chief and Devil about that before the meeting. We will post that clarification in an announcement sometime this weekend because there's some changes coming with the weed system and how all that works as well in this update. So we will post, I'll just ping everybody and post the clarification on that this weekend. Let me actually put that on my list. I knew there was something I forgot to do before this meeting. What new things are to come? A lot. So just in this update, I guess I can tease a couple of things since it's coming out tomorrow. We've changed the weed growth system. We've changed let me see, drift cars are coming. The new police dispatch system is in. There's a new job coming for truck driving, which I think we're going to see a lot of truck drivers in the city over the next week or two. There's a new car HUD. That's kind of the big one that some people are going to have questions on. So we've switched to a new system for the car HUD, so like your speedometer and things like that, and it's all customizable by the player now. So you can kind of turn on and off what you want or don't want to be displayed on your screen, and then you can move it and kind of design it to the way that you want to. So when people log into the city after the update, that's going to be the big thing. They're going to see a really large speedometer and road road names and things like that. You'll need to actually take a few minutes and customize that to the way that you want it. And we'll have more in that about the update and kind of some information on that. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything else I want to tease in the update. I know there's a question or two that is going to be answered that is included in the update that has already been submitted. We have stuff planned June, mid-June, end of June. There's probably going to be several additions and several things changing. We have some new jobs that we're still doing some testing on, in addition to the truck driving job that we're kind of making some final determinations on how we want those to work. So we'll have quite a few new things coming, but probably the next week or so after this update is going to be more focused on getting in those player-owned businesses and getting in any kind of bugs that pop up from anything that we've changed, because sometimes that happens. We do plan on going more towards player-owned businesses. If you guys have ideas, submit an SOP. If you've submitted an SOP, please bear with us. We will be we'll be answering those shortly and getting to you. As I said earlier, probably next week sometime we'll have an answer, and then we're focusing on implementing that stuff. Can we make garbages stash spots? Also, can we get more variety drug options like oxy, more strains, etc.? Can we make garbages stash spots? I don't know what you're asking there. Is Axel in here? I'm not sure what you're asking. If you want to request to speak, you can kind of clarify that in the meeting chat, because I honestly don't know what you're asking. As for the second question that was there, let me get back. Can we open up Weasel News for future storylines? We do have a Weasel News map. If that's not open currently on the live server, I'll make sure that that's included in the update tomorrow. I'll make sure that we're starting that resource in the live city. And then we're just, if somebody wants to run Weasel News, put in an SOP. We don't have an SOP that's active. I think the person that did put that in has went into a different SOP, if I remember correctly. As for the drugs, there are currently weed. There's a way to do oxy, and there's some more stuff. But just touching on the weed, we are going to one player strain. So it's just going to be weed, and then there's going to be a player-owned business coming in that's going to have some more special stuff, some more special effects on stuff that they do. But you're actually only going to be able to grow one strain of weed moving forward. Can we consider adding a duration in the city requirement to be higher on the PD? Not hours work, but you have to have a character in city for 1 month. We're already doing that. We're shifting that in as we kind of roll out the new changes with police FTOs and things like that. That is coming. It's a 1 week. And Chief or Devil can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we decided on a 1 week minimum, and then there's a minimum playtime requirement too, and I think that's 8 hours. Am I right on that? Yeah.
You're right.
1 week, 8 hours, unless it's authorized by higher command.
Correct.
Earlier.
Yeah. So there are some people, and I know there was some chatter in here about, police and that there are some people that may be known and have played in other servers or played with us in the past or played here in the past that may, they may not serve that 1 week requirement. But in general, we do want people to be familiar with the city before they start coming on to PD. Now, as DOC comes in, and as we start rolling that out in the future, that's going to be a little bit different. So the PD requirement is going to be directly based on DOC. So just kind of know that there are more changes to that coming. So with FTOs, there's going to be select anybody corporal or above is automatically just kind of in general how police is going to be. Anybody corporal or above is automatically an FTO. And then anyone, there's going to be officers that go through like a little certification to be FTOs. And there's going to be some stuff that they're required to kind of do with, when they have ride-alongs and stuff like that. So we can kind of keep a little bit better track on progress for rookies. There's also more in-depth training that we're doing and starting to roll out. So we'll kind of see some changes to how PD is trained in the city in the coming weeks. Possibility to be able to use phone while still being able to move. If someone calls while we are driving, we have to stop or lose control of the vehicle until the call is actually connected. That's actually happening. Possibility. So if you get a phone call while you're driving, you lose control of the vehicle. I think there's a text command. I'll get back to you on that. I believe there is a text command that you can use to answer the phone call that would prevent that right now off the top of my head that I'm thinking of. So I'll get back. I'll put that on the list and we'll take a look into that. DOC is still it's been pushed back a little bit. We don't have anything to share at this time on when DOC will be coming in. We're getting lawyers are coming in now. I think some of them have already actively kind of been pursuing that. As the law firm kind of comes in, there's going to be more situations for the court system to start up, and then DOC is going to kind of fall in line with all that stuff. So. Can an officer be certified FTO while still being an Oscar? Yeah, officer units can be certified to be an FTO. A give option is something that we are looking at now that's not in this update, but it is something that we're bringing into the city. Can we get more outfit slots? I'm going to say no on that for right now, just because there's some additional changes that we may be making to the whole outfit system to prevent some of the... I don't want to say bugs because they're really not bugs. The weirdness that has occurred with the outfit system. So as of right now, we're not changing outfit slots, but stay tuned. Can we reduce the chance of tire pops? So tire pops is overhauled in the new car HUD system. So we're gonna kind of give the new system a go and see where we're at, and then we'll adjust further after that. So there are some changes kind of coming to that. Would it be possible to add the ability to include pictures and tweets? That ability is coming tomorrow when the update hits. Would it be possible to get an OnlyFans app? No. Someone gets a player report against them or any ticket for that matter. Can you discuss the details with both parties involved? We discuss with when we need additional discussion. If there is video evidence or we were actually watching the scene, there may not be, like, we're going to have a discussion with the player and a discussion with the person that reported it. But in some instances, we really don't need a detailed discussion on a player report because there was wrongdoing and we've talked to you and take action, or kind of tell you what's going on. So it's kind of it's situational based on that. If we can post pics to Twitter, can we have a Twitter feed here to post photos? Can we have a Twitter feed here to post photos? The in-game Twitter, just like before in 1.0, when we had the ability to post pictures on Twitter, it is logged to Discord. We did not make that public previously just for metagaming. It was kind of decided to hold that off. If that's something that the community kind of wants to see those, I don't see any issue with that, but we'll have to talk about that from a staff perspective. Can we add the drift mode to cars? Drift cars are coming. We have some cars that are actually styled for drift and their handling has been adjusted for drifting. Is there a way to set court dates for things like civil suits or lawsuits? if you have an idea for, something that you want to do court-wise, just submit a ticket as of right now. Is there a way to get people to pay fines that they have gotten, like take it out of their bank account? We don't want to do that automatically. So the reason that we don't have that implemented currently to where it's an automated thing where it just comes out of your account is because we wanted, it was set up for future. So we knew, court things are coming in and the mechanics, may put a lien on a vehicle or, that whole stuff may come into the city as we kind of continue building that out. So that's why it does not work that way currently. There'd have to be some discussion between staff and development if we want to change that. When I find people, they get a notification on their phone and they pay it on their phone through the bank app. Yeah, they do. But the problem is, so I think what Shaggy's saying, the problem is there's several people that just decide that they don't have to pay their fines or their bills from like the mechanics or even EMS now is EMS, is doing some bandages and things like that, that they're selling. Bottom line is we shouldn't be performing any work. And the mechanics are really doing a pretty good job with that, but there's some outstanding stuff that, we're looking at, and there's going to be some in-game roleplay situations that come from people that have not paid their police fines or, their bills to the mechanics. Some people may have warrants shortly and not even know it. Can we make purchases at the jewelry store or clothing stores, maybe a floral shop? Also, give or gift, like give money. Can we make, I'm not sure what you're asking, Bullet.
Well, if we make jewelry purchase, then we catch someone with jewelry on them from a jewelry store, then how do we differentiate?
Is that what they're asking? Like, can jewelry be purchased?
I think so. Or like go to a floral shop and buy flowers or,
I mean, the flower stuff we can see about. I don't know specifically what we're looking, what the, I'm looking for some clarification on that. If we can get that, that would be great. So I can give an actual answer. I don't know if Bullet's in here or if Bullet's in here. If he is, if not, we'll have to reach out to him and get some clarification on that. Can subjects not lie about having a hostage? Really important not to fib. That's actually in the rules. You cannot, actually, let me double check. You just double check and make sure that we didn't remove that.
The last I knew it was in the rules, and you can't use your partner as a hostage.
Yeah. So stating that you have a hostage when you don't, or using a friend as a hostage and paying them off later is considered power gaming. You must completely role play out the scenario of taking a hostage, and that hostage must be authentic. When asked if you have a hostage, you cannot lie and say you do when you don't. So that that really shouldn't be happening. And that would be a conversation that we would need to have with the player. So that would be a player report. Will SWAT team be getting a Bearcat? And if no, could we? We're still making
no answer right now.
Yeah, no answer. Okay. Can we change the personal lockers in PD so that we can access them off duty? What would be the purpose of accessing the personal locker off duty rather than just being on duty when you get your stuff out and then go off duty? Overlord, I mean, you can either say that here or, and if somebody sees clarification in meeting chat or something, just let me know. Will Burger Shop be getting curly fries? I don't know if Birdbath has actually requested that. If he has, it's probably something that Kraken's working on the image for now. Will the slushy machine work? again, I don't think we've had conversation with Birdbath about it. He kind of, it's his menu. Are there any new jobs planned over the next few months? Yes. So we have the truck driving job now, which is amazing. I'm very angry that I actually haven't been able to get in and test it myself and play with it myself. But Death Adder has done an amazing job on that, and I cannot wait for that to come.
Guys, with the trucking job, tune into radio channel 50 for trucking radio when it comes live.
Yep, radio channel 50. Other than the trucking job, there are a couple that we are not going to talk about, some activities that are coming that we don't want to share yet because it's going to be pretty cool and it's something that I think is pretty unique, and we're not ready to share details on that yet. We do have some additional changes that are going to be coming with the plane job, some added delivery spots and things like that we're kind of revamping an existing job. And then there's some jobs that we're testing. We're currently testing like wood cutting. We're testing oh, my mind just went blank. Hang on. Come back to me. So we're also kind of testing some stuff with coffee. With the coffee house is like an activity or actual job that people can have there. I would prefer that be SOP'd, but I don't think we have one out on that. There's also like a slaughterer type job that we're testing as well. Whether or not, like, we haven't made a final determination on the lumberjack and the slaughterer job if we're actually going to bring those in. There may be some additional work that we do to those before we release them. But they are being tested. And then also, in addition to like the coffee shop, there's like the taco shop too that we have where you can actually like make the food and stuff like that. And then it has a delivery mechanism just like Burger Shot does, where people can go and do those little deliveries. So that's kind of what's there. There is one that I'm super, super excited about for when it comes in, but I'm not going to share what that is yet. So we have plans to level out the earn money to cost of items ratio. It seems that vehicles and items are insanely priced for the minimal amount of money earned through jobs. From a back end vision point and looking at the economy of the server, I don't think there's change. I don't think we'll be making any changes to car pricing or item pricing at this time. They're definitely, in my opinion, we'll have some more discussion about that. There's not as much of an imbalance as what some people may think. There is wealth in the city. Let me put it that way. I know we were meant to treat the locals like a real person, but can we have the rule that you can't use a local as hostage? It reduces RP for the cops. Like after the robbery, we cannot question a local to see if they have been given anything from the robbery, and we can't call an EMS to check the hostage over. Well, why can't you? So as far as EMS goes, I'm not saying that we're not going to, add that part to the rule. The whole carrying locals thing was an experiment. So, we'll have some discussion over that, but you can absolutely still call EMS out and have them check a local. We've done that. I've done that before where there's been a local car accident. And we've called EMS out and had them check over the person that was dead in the other car. So, you can create role play with locals. You can, but we'll discuss that. Is there a chance we can tone down the grind or farming mentality with going store to store with a bike? Also, can we set a rule with not being able to use a local for a hostage? Yeah, we'll have some conversation over the local as a hostage. That's that mentality. You know, we push that frequently. And we talk about that every mentality that, you know, rob store after store after store. You know, your actions and what you do in the city should have, you know, detailed thought in that. And I think that's how we put it in the rules. So really we shouldn't we shouldn't be going store to store to store, you know, just to grind. That whole mentality. If we eliminate that, you know, we'll have great things. You know, we'll continue to do great things in the city. And then I think Bullet has his hand up here, and I'm going to invite him to speak to answer that question or to expand on his question, what he was talking about. Go ahead, Bullet. Bullet. Okay. I can't hear you if you're talking. I see you lighting up, but I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. I'm going to answer the next question while you work on that. In terms of fear RP, an officer sitting in a car and two people roll up and hold the officer at gunpoint. The officer should not be driving away, correct? That's correct. Fear RP applies to police officers as well. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello? Now he can't hear us. If you just want to text, you know, post your clarification then, first, since that's not working for you. Let me go. Is there an ETA for houses soon? When is the mechanic app coming? That will be in tomorrow's update. How close are we to a fire department? Fire department is something that we are doing, planning on now. We have picked out some vehicles. I think we're going to make a final determination on the vehicles hopefully this weekend. And then we'll start implementing that in the coming weeks. Can we have a way to call for help if we go down in jail? /911 don't work due to no cell phone. We're working at that. We're working on that as well. And I'll put that on the list to make sure that that gets there. That is something that we are looking at. Also with the new dispatch system, when you go down, EMS should get a call for that automatically. Is there a feature that we can have for PD that if a warrant bolo has been issued, it notifies them, i.e. in the case of unpaid tickets, fines, or if they feel that they have a warrant bolo issued unjustly, they can contact PD about the said warrant. Chief, what's your thought on that?
Which one was it?
Mike's
Who put it?
question.
Oh,
It was 12.
feature we can have PD that if a warrant bolo has been issued, it notifies them.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. How hard would that be to do?
Well, I mean, generally, just from a real life perspective, how would that? I mean, obviously, if you have a warrant, PD is going to be looking for you.
Yeah, I mean, you're not notified in real life that you have a warrant out for you if you do something. But the unpaid tickets, you can check them yourself.
Yeah, you can check those yourself. So I mean, I guess my point on that would be if you have unpaid tickets and they're sitting there and you can check that now. If you get a warrant issued and we pick you up for it in game, well, that's just the way that it is. We'll have to have some additional discussion on that. In terms of paying off a hostage, if we take a genuine hostage, get contact information. If and when we get away, we contact the hostage and give them a smaller payout for cooperating. That is not against the rules as long as it is. So as long as you follow the guidelines of so the not paying off a hostage, you can't say to, like, if me and Devil have been running together, right? I can't say, hey, Devil, I'm going to use you as my hostage and then I'll just give you, half the cut later. You can't do that. You have to actually take the hostage. Now, if Devil and I have been running together and I pull a gun on Devil and actually take him hostage, which I think I did. I think Frank did that to Toretto once. Twice. That's different. And you're actually playing that out in RP. So if you want to contact them later and say, hey, here's, thank you for, cooperating. Here's 10,000, a couple $1,000s. That's not against the rules. In the case of unpaid tickets, is there a way to know if things weren't billed by mistake? I have one where I was issued one from PD under warrant that no one told me what it was for. Okay, if you have a fine and you log in and it's there, and then the next time you log in, it's still there, and it was not for you, you need to put in a ticket for that with your citizen ID and the title that the fine says and the amount of the fine. So we can do some further research on that, because we are seeing, I think I may know what's causing those fines to pop up, but I need additional information to verify that. So if you get a fine and after flying out and flying back in, it's still there, then that fine has came to you, and then we need to look at that. So there's some information that we need to gather. Please file a help me ticket with your citizen ID, what they say the fine's for, and the amount of the fine so we can investigate it. In terms of radio channels, would it be possible to get a directory either in City or in Discord that lists which channel are used for what? For example, 13 for mechanics, 15 for taxi, 50 for trucker, etc. There are some things that we are looking at doing in City that will kind of help guide you with that. We can probably put that in. I don't know. That's one of those.
To the welcome document.
We can probably just add it to the welcome document.
Info.
Yeah, it'd probably be the welcome document that we add that to. But we'll iron that out. I'll put that on the list too. Can we get better roof over the apartments? I hate coming into my apartment completely flooded. Don't want soggy nuggets in my stash. I'm gonna be honest. It's not high priority for us to look into that right now. It is something that we're aware happens. It's just not a top priority, but we are aware of it. And when we get some time, after, my computer's fully fixed and, we've cleared out some of the other stuff that's on the to-do list, we'll take a look at that. The ability to remove a fine is coming in tomorrow's update. I believe Death Adder implemented that today. It is possible that it was just the wrong ID. So I can tell you we're not going back to a proximity-based fine system. That was a nightmare in 1.0 with how that worked. It was an absolute nightmare, and people would get fined or sent to jail for proximity based just because they were too close. It was a nightmare, and it's something that I personally don't want to see come back. So the ID thing, we just need to fix the issue that's causing that with the IDs. People, double check, the police should be double checking, mechanics should be double checking your number. Hit page up and you see the number. If it's a staff member right now, you don't see their number, ask them and we will tell you. If it's Frank that you have in jail, ask Chief Fox what his number is before you send Frank. But just a question. I don't want the location, but I just want to know if there's an actual place to get rid of the phones you get from house robberies. There is a place. Keep looking. Keep looking. I think somebody's found it. But I believe, I believe somebody has found it and they're keeping that pretty close to themselves. So keep looking. There may be some hints that come out in the future. With the drift cars, will there be a designated spot to practice without getting in trouble with police? Will drift events be added as well? Yes, drift events will be added. Police usually don't mess with you if you're at if you're down at the airport not causing trouble. Most of the time we don't even know you're down there. If you're at Sandy Shores Airport, most of the time we're not going to say anything. If the
farm.
Yeah, the windmill farm, we're not going to say anything. So there are places for you to do that. If you do, there may be, a situation where the cops do come up to say, hey, we do need you to leave the area for right now because there's probably something else going on. But generally, if you're in one of those areas, we don't mess with you. Just watch out if you're at one of the airports because planes do fly there for the pilot job. For clarification on purchase and giving, to actually give someone something instead of robbing or dropping items on the ground. That's coming. It is planned at this point. It's not going to be this weekend's update, but that may be one of the additions that we get in next week. With the fire department coming soon, will there be a way to start fires that would stay so that yeah, we're looking at that. That's part of the early stages of where we're at on the fire department is what all that's going to include. There are going to be some changes that come into EMS and that too, but we'll lay those out as we get closer to that. Can we use jail phones to make calls, request visits? That's something that that is on it's on the list of things that we want to add, is the ability to have pay phones in the jail. There be a notification system for the DOC if you do get a warrant like courts do. DOC would have access to the warrants in CAD. Will there be a repo system implemented for unpaid tickets or warrants? You can't. Mechanics will be able to request a lien on a vehicle. That's something that now the exact process for that we don't have yet, but the mechanics will be able to do that, and that will be something that we start doing. I had a bill from the mechanics that never came through. Then it got sent again, and I paid what was owed, but I still have a bill on my bank app that won't disappear. So what I'm asking, is there any way to get rid of it? So we can actually get rid of that now on the back end, but there is a way in game that people are going to be able to get rid of those and remove those bills. I'll have to check with Death Adder and see. I believe he implemented that for everybody, not just PD. Is there a possibility to extend the length that warrants are active before they are closed, since some people don't play on that crim all the time, and any warrants that they get would be wiped within a week? We can kind of address that. That would be something that we have to talk about. Is there an interior on the Voodoo going to be fixed this update so it doesn't revert back to its original color? I have no clue what you're talking about. That might be something that you need to submit a ticket on for us. Would joints be fixed so they can be used inside of a vehicle? Put in a ticket on that as well. When houses come, are we able to purchase with other players or say live with other players? There is a way to share keys. Has the female health weed issue been fixed? The weed issue has been fixed. I think that's in I thought that was in the update that we already pushed. That may be in this update too. I believe the health issue is also fixed in this update, but don't quote me on that. Is there going to be a truck and trailer to transfer your drift cars? I don't have an answer for that right now. The last couple of people that are typing, we're going to close down the ask a question, and then we'll take a couple of questions.
Can I speak on the drift cars?
Yeah.
Call the mechanics. Call them, have them tow it for you. Right now.
Yep. Not saying going back to the 1.0 system, I'm saying keep the ID system, but just in case you accidentally type the wrong number instead of the fine going through, it doesn't because the number you're trying to find isn't close enough to you. For example, I'm trying to bill 14. We can look at that for proximity based. If it's not too resource intensive, we can probably implement that. That would be a great feature request on the GitHub repo. For clarification on my PD personal locker question earlier, personally, I put my PD weapons and tracker in my personal locker before I go off duty. Sometimes keep extra food and drink in there. So it'd be nice to be able to access them when I'm off duty. So your food and drink, maybe split that half and half between them. It's something we'll look into that, but I'm not going to guarantee that you can get into police doors while off duty for much longer. So for the support team, do I need to reapply for the part, or is my app still on file? It's probably still on file. We don't delete those. If you want to submit another application, it doesn't hurt anything. I leave them in my locker, but I would like to. Okay. Has there been consideration to put in the sit system? The sit system is coming. It will probably initially drop with press E to sit in chair, and then it's going to go. So this is the other big thing that is coming sometime in June, is what I'm saying right now. Just because I don't know my time wise. It's something that I'm gonna kind of do because it's a bigger project. Death Adder has enough projects right now. If anybody's seen like the I script, the targeting script, where you can like see something and then you press a button and you can do additional actions, that will be what the sit system is migrated to. It's just less resource intensive. But the sit system's actually something that we've tested a little bit in the test server already. Not being able to doors the clock. That would be changed. Yeah, we're aware of that, and if we revert back to the old system where you can't unlock the doors while off duty, the clock in will change to the clipboard that's on the front desk of MRPD. And with that, I'm going to shut down the Ask a Question channel. We have we've almost hit the hour, so if there's a couple of people that have a question, we can have them raise their hand and we'll do it, but we're only going to take a couple. And we have 3 here. I'm going to invite Sploom. Once I invite you, I think you have to accept it and then you can start talking.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, so it's not really a question as much as a clarification on what I put before about the being able to move with the phone. Right now it seems like if you pull out your phone for any reason, you lose all control of everything else. You have to stand in a place, you have to do whatever. Like everything defaults to using the phone. So when I was talking about the driving and everything like that, it wasn't necessarily like picking up the phone, but like let's say I'm in a car chase and I want to call somebody on my list to say, hey, meet me in this spot to pick me up. You know, my car's almost broken. If I pick that phone up, I lose control of the car. I can't drive, I can't steer, I can't do anything. I pretty much have to stop until they actually pick up the phone. So it's more just a request of maybe default just the mouse controls of the phone, so we can still use WASD and stuff to drive the car and move around. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's something that we'll have to look into.
Yeah, if I'm driving down the interstate and I press M, I can't control the car. I crash unless I pull over and stop.
Okay. Okay, we'll look into it.
That's all I wanted. Thank you.
Yep. And Captain Crazy. Captain Crazy, I invited you to speak. If you have, okay, there you go.
Okay. Yes. I was trying to figure out where do I look? Okay. It's about my question about the Nerf cards. Are there going to be any cards that are going to get a buff? Just wondering about that.
Yeah. So, thank you. Yeah. So we there's some cars that have been, excuse me. There's some cars that we've brought down in speed. I don't think that there's any that we're increasing in speed. So there are a few cars that, as of tomorrow, are going to have a lower top speed than what they previously did.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's all I wanted.
All right.
I wanted to know.
We can take a couple more. I thought Pink was in here too, but nobody else. Okay, there he is.
Yeah, my question's gone, in all honesty, but I guess I'll take this opportunity just to thank everybody who, especially the owners and the dev team, for doing what they do in the background, and some of the RP we've had from some people. I especially want to call out the mechanics. I think what you guys do is absolutely spot on. So just thank you guys from me, and probably from a lot of others as well. That was it.
All right. Thank you very much. Anybody else? I think we have. Oh, Death Adder. Oh, I forgot to invite. I gotta remember to invite Death Adder to the stage because he could have talked for a couple of these questions. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Just on the note of vehicles being balanced and whatnot, I just want to make sure that if you guys notice anything that's going stupendously fast or stupendously slow, make a ticket for us. That way, I mean, there's like 260 odd different cars, handling files and stuff to go through. It just helps me and the other devs out so much. If you guys just let me know, make that ticket. That way we can look into getting those adjusted. As for increases in speed, like we're going through a lot of the cars at the moment just to balance everything out. So there are cars that are going too slow, in my opinion, that really shouldn't be going that slow. And there's some cars that are going absurdly fast. So yeah, things are going to be balanced up and down.
All right. Have you started work on that top secret project yet?
May have.
Okay. All right. So Zoo, will bring Zoo up now.
Hey, it's actually just a response to Adder. Do you guys have an idea in mind of what you kind of want the top speed to be, so that way we have a better idea of what we should report?
Definitely not 300 miles per hour. So,
you can sort of tell based on the style of car. Like if it's, you know, grandma's soccer mom van and it's pushing 180, like that probably shouldn't be the case. Mm-hmm. If it feels wrong, there's a chance that it is.
Gotcha. It would be nice if there was kind of like some level of known, because as of right now, like there's a bunch of cars that can hit that 250 range. And I don't know if that's what you guys are aiming for your higher end cars, or if you guys are hoping for that to be closer to like 2, you know?
If it's not a Bugatti Veyron, it shouldn't be going past 250.
Gotcha. Okay. So there's a ton of cars that fit that.
But make those tickets at the end of the day. I'll just say, no, this is okay, and we'll close out the ticket. I prefer
over report.
I prefer more tickets than none.
Okay.
And just on that too, so if you see a kind of response from me like, well just don't do that from a ticket or something that you put in a GitHub issue on, that doesn't necessarily mean that we aren't going to do what you're suggesting. It just means that I read the ticket and is like, well, just stop doing it, and then you won't have that problem. I've put a couple of those out there, like on the stash one, and it's like, oh no, the answer is just to not, don't be in a rush. So, yeah.
You have that on your stream deck, don't you? Just the copy paste of that.
I do. I do. I do. I do. Craig Moss.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings.
Hi. Hello. So just had a question. Are there going to be any more newer cars added to the car list?
Yeah, we have a pretty big drop of cars that were missing from like because the DLC stuff that they've done that we had in 1.0. We have a pretty big drop of those coming tomorrow, and then I think there's a final drop coming next week.
Oh, nice, perfect.
So
yeah, that's all I had. You guys are doing an amazing job. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Basha, or also Denrick, as he's been known for like 3 months now, apparently. Basha.
Yeah, I didn't see the accept button to the top. But no,
Okay.
question: is there a way we could test drive a car that's over $300,000 so we know how it handles, or can somebody put an SOP in, be a car dealership man, to let us test drive it? 'Cause I hate to pay $500,000 for a car that I don't like and can't
I
return.
can tell you that a test drive system is something that is on the list. And then car dealership, I know somebody. Okay, so speaking as the car dealer, I don't think that we will ever move to a system where there's just a car dealer and you have to buy from the car dealer. That's kind of what our take's been on that altogether. But somebody that can, test drive vehicles, get vehicles and stuff, and then sell them, that may or may not be something that we are considering. And there may or may not be SOPs in on that. So if you have those ideas, feel free to put in the SOP. But a test drive, ability to test drive vehicles is definitely something that we feel you on that, because all of us have bought a car and then end up not liking it. So
Yeah.
Yep. So just stay tuned.
Thank you.
And CJ.
Also Denrick too.
Wow. Thanks, Kraken. You made a comment in the last meeting about people with like the MCs where we have our own boss menu and stuff that we'll be able to start taking the other jobs. Is that going to be coming in the next update? Or not?
So, and I'll kind of talk to you about that. The initial implementation has been done in the test server. It still needs some further testing. So we're actually some of the downtime. I have to do some changes to the database and stuff, just to allow for that to happen the way that we are implementing that. So that is something that is coming. The initial implementation is coming now, but we may not switch you over to that system yet, because there's just some other back end stuff that we need to do. But that is something that is coming. Any group will be able to be in a gang and then have another job. So, and then we'll do one more. So I just invited.
Hello. Can you
Jeff,
hear
go
me?
ahead. Yep.
Hey, I was just wondering, is there a way, or will there be a way to sell vehicles to other citizens?
That is something. There is a way now, but there's been some issues with it. So don't go up to the lot up north and sell your car. We're looking at that. If we can do a last minute bug fix on that, we'll have that implemented. There are other ways that we're looking at bringing into, kind of like the previous system that we had, where it's just / transfer vehicle and you can sell the vehicle that way. But there is actually a lot that you'll be able to list your vehicle and it will sit like on a lot and people can go buy it. There is tax and stuff involved in that though, so just be mindful of that.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yep. All right, guys, that is I think going to be it. We're gonna go ahead and end the community meeting here. Police are going to meet down below in the job thingy-majig for their meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming. The meeting will be published to YouTube sometime this evening. Have a good one. We will see you at the next meeting, which we haven't decided on yet. So we'll see you then. Get out of here. Bye. I think everybody's going to the police meeting now.
Meeting in here.